dignitaries here and all the guests. All I can say about Michael is I met Michael 3 years ago, and we started with Leo Quinn and Moral Injury International, helping people. Oh, go to the mic. Okay, thank you, Michael. See, you still give me orders. Yes, Michael has started, when he started with us, was we started helping people. We've done a lot of podcasts, over 100, including Warren Mundine, Paddy Armstrong, Sister Mary, and other dignitaries and people all over the world. We reach out now to over 15 million people, and we help people every day. But more importantly is, my dad served in the army and was in Jarrettville and everything, but Michael became more of a mentor to me. And I hate to say this against my dad, but he was more of a dad to me than my dad ever was. And with the people that you've helped, Michael, I can honestly, I couldn't count them on 10 hands. And just Vesa, you organised there, and from Leo Quinn in Ireland, I'd just like to play something as the three of us started this. Can you put that on, Vess?
Good afternoon, Michael from the west of Ireland. I imagine today is quite a significant day for you in Sydney, and I'd just like to add my tuppence worth for what it's worth. I've known you, Michael, for about 3 years through our interaction with Moral Injury International, and I'd just like to put it on record that I am privileged to be working with you on this. Your compassion, your intelligence, your care for other people, your advice to Marty and I, and we need it at times, your thought process, your experience in moral injury, all of this is vital to what we're trying to do in Moral Injury International. I'd like to thank you very, very much for the guidance and input that you're giving us all the time. And it's been an honor and a privilege to be working with you, and let's continue doing what we are doing. And for the rest of the day, enjoy yourself, take care of yourself, and we'll talk soon. God bless you, Michael. Take care.
Thank you, Leo Quinlan. Now, I'd like to present this plaque and then get Geraldine Armstrong to make a statement from New Zealand. We'd like to present this for the very first award for moral injury for what you've done, not just for other people, what you've done for me personally, Leo, and all other people. So, Michael, if you don't mind, I'd like to just present this. And Michael, as I've heard on it, all the people talking about what you've done over the years, it's what you've done in the last 3 years and you continue to do. And if you don't mind, I'd like to just, Vess, if we can play a message from Geraldine Armstrong, New Zealand, and about how you've helped them. So, Vess, can we do that, please?
Hello, Michael. It's Geraldine Armstrong here from New Zealand. On behalf of myself, my mother Elizabeth, and my sister Jacqueline, a very big congratulations to you on the very first Moral Injury International Award. A very, very well-deserving recipient you are. Thank you for standing by with Moral Injury International and Australia to highlight moral injury to those that are unaware of the effects that it has had on themselves and their families. I was very privileged to meet you with my very first Anzac Day in Australia last year, and boy, what a day it was. It was so awesome to meet you in person, and I thank you for your service to ex-servicemen from the Irish military, as well as all your community work that you are very involved in. I hope you have an awesome day, and I hope that you enjoy the well-deserved party that's been put on for you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Now we've got a couple of presentations, a couple of people who want to say a few words about Michael, to Michael and the family. And first up, I'd like to introduce our Consul General, who has taken some time out of her weekend. I don't think she has a weekend, really. And Rosie Keane is here to say a few words. So please welcome Rosie.
Thanks, Tina. Thank you very much, and I want to thank you very much for inviting me to be here today. It's a great honour to be here, to be with you all, and in particular to pay tribute to Michael. I'd like to say on behalf of the Irish Government, thank you. Yeah. Perfect, thanks. On behalf of the Irish Government, I want to extend our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to you for your tireless support that you've provided to the Irish community for over 4 decades. I know that for 20 years you were the voice of Irish radio here in New South Wales. I think you've also done a bit of work with the United Ex-Services Association as well. But in terms of your radio work, I cannot imagine what comfort and sense of connection you gave to people here, many who are thousands of miles away from familiar faces, family and friends. It's impossible to measure the impact of your dedication, but judging by today's events, the number of people who've turned out and the kind words that I've heard spoken about you, you've made an enormous impact and have left an indelible mark in the hearts and minds of the community here. Finally, and once again on behalf of the Consulate and the Irish Government, I want to express my most heartfelt appreciation and admiration for you, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, we do have people who we have planned to speak, but there's a person who particularly would like to speak, and I would like to ask Michael Lyons to come up and say a few words.
First of all, I don't know what I'm going to say. Okay, but it's when Chris Cunningham mentioned getting together, this was before COVID, by the way, and I said, what a great idea. We'd get people who'd come here over the last 50 years, and we all congregated around the western suburbs, and we had, if you recall, this was before any kind of technology. All we had was a landline and a letter. That's it. But we all managed very well. We had a very strong Irish community, and we supported one another. We didn't have any welfare bureau or nothing. But if someone was in trouble, we all collectively always looked after them. And we had a very strong community. And we all grew up together. And then our kids grew up with us, and fortunately or hopefully, they left home when they should have. And then the grandkids came along, so the whole dynamics changed. And we would never meet anymore like we used to. And the idea was a great idea that we all get back together again. Then COVID came, that's finished. And then after COVID, Chris said, I think we should do it again. Continue on. I said, great idea. But she said, we'd like to do something for you. I said, well, now, let me talk. We'll have to talk about this. And she said, no, just something simple. A low key was her word, if I remember. Well, if this is low key, I'd hate to see her if she was even told to go full on. So I'm just overwhelmed today by what's happened here. I had no idea it was going to be like this. I'm very humbled that I stand here being in some way acknowledged for something that I've done since I volunteered to join the Irish Army at 15. Volunteering is just part of what I thought you'd do. And maybe, as St. Mary MacKillop coined the phrase, never see a need without doing something about it. Maybe that's what was in my DNA. If I saw something to be done, I often tried to put it right or help. Often putting my nose in places I shouldn't as well, but along the way. But that's, see, and I have never ever, I could ever have achieved anything volunteering on my own. Never. I always had people, like-minded people with me, who came with me and went with me. And collectively, we got things done. And those people are never acknowledged, they're never up on stage. And they don't want to be. But if you're going to some way acknowledge what I've done today, and I'm very humbled by it and I'm honored by it, I also want it for the people who have, the no names of people that you'll never hear about, who volunteered with me all these years and still volunteer in the Irish community and the community at large. There's people doing some unbelievable work on a voluntary basis, and you'll never hear about it. So that's my comment to make, that if that's what's going to happen, it's just not for me. The speakers tonight, and I know there's other speakers, you know, you said lovely things about me. I'm sure my wife's sitting there wondering if it's the same Michael Lyons she's married to. or is it somebody else? But, which brings me to try and conclude here by saying the one person that's behind me all my life has been my wife. And when it comes to fundraising, I remember nights running in, quick bite to eat, and back out again to a meeting. And we had young kids at the time, and she was left with the young kids. And that wasn't just me, that happened all over the place. But we often had big talks about it, that things had to change maybe. But we could always work it out, and Celine was always behind me. Celine is an incredible woman. She's very authentic. What you see is what you get. She's loving and she's caring. And her generosity of spirit need no bounds. And I love her very much. And just so to conclude, as most of you know, I've been battling a pretty serious bone marrow cancer since last year. And if you want something in the cancer range, don't pick bone marrow. But thank God I've got a great hematology team at St. George under Dr. Ho. Believe it or not, I got out of hospital this morning. That's how good she helped me to get right for today. They're beautiful people, nurses generally are. And the team are, I have to mention it, they're just absolutely unbelievable the way they helped me to manage things so I could be here with you. I have a great faith which keeps me going. And I have friends. I don't know what to say. I can't say it. When I just look at what happened here today, it will live with me for the rest of my life. I will never forget you. You're beautiful people. And thank you so much for raising my spirits to a height that I never thought they would. Thank you.